Life can feel overwhelming sometimes, can it? The pressures, the expectations, the constant uncertainty. It's like we're carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders. And in those moments, it's easy to feel lost, anxious, or even hopeless. You might be asking yourself, is there a way to find true peace, strength, and purpose in this chaos? What if I told you that there is a source of guidance, timeless wisdom, that can help you navigate life's toughest challenges? Wisdom that doesn't just comfort you, but actually changes the way you live, think, and feel every single day. Today, we're diving into the life-changing teachings of Jesus, the kind of teachings that have transformed lives for over 2,000 years. These aren't just old stories or ancient advice. They're practical and powerful lessons that you can start applying right now to experience more peace, more love, and more purpose in your life. By the end of this video, you'll discover 5 teachings that have the power to reshape your mindset, heal your heart, and give you the courage to face whatever life throws your way. So if you're ready to step into a life of strength, clarity, and resilience, stay with me, because what you're about to learn could change your life today. Let's start with a teaching that is at the very heart of Jesus' message. Love your neighbor as yourself. On the surface, it might sound simple, almost too simple. But when you begin to truly unpack what this means, you start to realize just how radical, challenging, and transformative it can be for your life. Think about your daily life for a moment. How often do we act in ways that put our own comfort, our own desires, our own safety above everything else? It's not necessarily selfishness, it's human nature. We naturally focus on ourselves because that's what survival instincts taught us for centuries. But the truth is, living solely for ourselves, prioritizing only our own needs and wants, leaves a void in our hearts that nothing else can fill. This is where Jesus' teaching comes in, and why it's so revolutionary. Loving your neighbor as yourself isn't just a moral suggestion. It's a blueprint for a life of meaning, joy, and true connection. Now, when Jesus said, "Love your neighbor as yourself," he wasn't asking us to love only the people we like, or those who treat us well, or those who fit into our circle. He was asking us to extend our love even to the people who challenge us, frustrate us, or even hurt us. Imagine the emotional weight of that. Loving people who don't love us back. Loving people who might even wish us harm. That's not easy, and that's precisely why it is so powerful. Let me tell you a story. There was a small town where 2 families had been feuding for generations. Every conversation, every glance, every interaction was charged with suspicion and anger. One day, a new family moved into the town. They didn't know about the feud, and they unknowingly moved in between the 2 rival families. One evening, a young boy from the new family got lost in the woods. Both feuding families saw him struggling, and instinctively, they knew they could help. But helping would mean coming into contact with the other family, the family they despised. Yet, the boys' safety mattered more than their pride or anger. They worked together, set aside their differences, and rescued the boy. After that day, something remarkable happened. By putting the child's needs above their own grievances, the families discovered a shared humanity they hadn't recognized in each other before. A seed of love was planted. One small act of prioritizing compassion over resentment began to heal years of division. That's exactly what Jesus meant by loving your neighbor as yourself. It's about putting yourself in their shoes, feeling their pain, and letting your actions be guided by care and empathy rather than fear, anger, or pride. Now, here's something to think about. Loving your neighbor starts with understanding yourself. Jesus said, "Love your neighbor as yourself," which implies that you must first understand and value your own worth. If you cannot love yourself, if you constantly criticize yourself, if you are constantly harsh and unforgiving toward your own mistakes, it will be nearly impossible to extend authentic love to others. Loving your neighbor is not about martyrdom or self-denial. It's about reflecting the same kindness, patience, and forgiveness you would wish for yourself. Consider this in practical terms. How often do we get frustrated with people for making mistakes? At work, in our families, in our communities? When we know we make mistakes too? How often do we react with impatience, anger or judgment instead of extending grace? Every time we do that, we miss an opportunity to practice this teaching. Every time we show understanding, compassion, and love towards someone, even when it's hard, we are embodying the principle Jesus taught. And it doesn't stop at just avoiding harm or offering politeness. Loving your neighbor as yourself means actively seeking their good. It means paying attention to their struggles, offering a listening ear, giving your time, and sometimes even sacrificing your comfort or convenience for their sake. That could be as small as helping a coworker who is overwhelmed, as simple as offering kind words to someone who feels invisible, or as life-changing as mentoring a young person who has no one to guide them. Small acts of love compound, and their ripple effects can transform not only lives but entire communities. Here's another story to illustrate this. A man lived in a city where homelessness was common. Every day, he would pass by people sleeping on the streets. For a long time, he avoided them, feeling powerless to help. One morning, he felt a strong pull in his heart to do something. He bought a few blankets and warm meals and started giving them out. At first, people were suspicious, some even rejected his help. But he didn't give up. Over time, he started learning names, hearing stories, and forming connections. Not only did he make a real difference in the lives of those he helped, but he found a sense of purpose and fulfillment he had never experienced before. He realized that loving his neighbors, people society often overlooked, enriched his own life in ways he could never have imagined. This is the transformative power of Jesus' teaching. Love isn't passive. Love isn't just a feeling. Love is active, intentional, and persistent, even in the face of resistance, and it works in both directions. As you extend love outward, you also heal yourself, you strengthen your character, and you create a life filled with deeper meaning. Now you might be thinking, but what about people who hurt me? What about those who betray my trust, disrespect me, or even wish me harm? This is the part that truly tests us. Loving your neighbor doesn't mean you condone their wrongdoing or ignore boundaries. It means you respond with empathy and integrity rather than hatred and revenge. Jesus himself forgave those who wronged him, and he taught that true love can break the cycle of anger, resentment, and violence. And let's not forget, loving your neighbor is not only about grand gestures, it's about the everyday moments. Smile at the person struggling in line. Offer encouragement to someone quietly battling depression. Compliment someone sincerely. Sit and listen when someone needs to talk. These small, consistent actions create a culture of love and care that can ripple far beyond what you see. One powerful way to practice this teaching is through the Golden Rule. Treat others as you would like to be treated, but Jesus takes it a step further. Love others as you love yourself. It's a radical, proactive love, not just a reaction to how others treat you. It's a love that seeks their well-being as fervently as your own, that celebrates their successes, mourns their losses, and lifts them when they fall. Imagine what the world would look like if every person genuinely lived by this principle. I want to challenge you for a moment. Think about someone in your life you struggle to love, someone who frustrates you, hurts you, or makes you feel small. Instead of pushing them away, try this. Imagine treating them with the same care and understanding you would want for yourself. Consider what they might be going through. Extend patience, offer a kind word, or perform a small act of service. You might be surprised at the transformation it sparks, not just in them, but in yourself. This teaching is not theoretical. It's practical, it's actionable, and it's life-changing. It shapes your relationships, your decisions, and your heart. It teaches you to rise above petty grudges, to prioritize compassion over convenience, and to seek unity over division. It creates a life that is resilient, peaceful, and filled with meaning. And the most beautiful part? When you love your neighbor as yourself, you create a legacy of love that can influence generations. So as we move forward in this video, keep this teaching close to your heart. Reflect on it. Ask yourself, how can I live this truth today? Who can I love better? Where can I show grace, patience, and care? Because this is not just a teaching to hear. It's a way of life that has the power to change everything, starting with you. Let's move on to another teaching of Jesus that can radically change the way you live your life. Do not worry about tomorrow. At first glance, it may sound simple, almost too easy. Just don't worry about the future, right? But if life were that simple, none of us would feel the stress, anxiety, or fear that comes with the uncertainty of tomorrow. And the truth is, Wiggy, this teaching is not just a suggestion, it is a profound principle for living with freedom, peace, and trust. Think about your own life for a moment. How many nights have you lain awake, your mind racing with fears about what might happen tomorrow? Perhaps it's financial worries, health concerns, relationship struggles, or the endless pressure to succeed. Maybe it's the uncertainty of the world around you, news headlines, natural disasters, political chaos. We worry about things that haven't even happened yet. We imagine the worst-case scenarios, and we allow them to consume our present moment. Worry becomes a heavy weight on our hearts, a thief of joy, and a blocker of faith. Now imagine for a moment what it would be like to live free from that burden. To wake up each day knowing that, no matter what comes, you are not alone, while you are guided and you are equipped to handle life's challenges. This is the promise of Jesus' teaching, that worrying about tomorrow accomplishes nothing, but trusting in God and living fully in the present can transform your experience of life. Let me tell you a story. There was a woman named Clara. She worked 2 jobs, cared for her children, and tried to support her aging parents. Every night, she would lie awake, thinking about the bills she couldn't pay, the deadlines at work, and the illnesses her parents might face. Her mind never rested, and her heart was constantly anxious. One day, a friend handed her a small book with a simple verse: "Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own." At first, Clara dismissed it. How could one sentence possibly change decades of worry? But she decided to try something radical. Each morning, she would remind herself of this teaching. She would breathe deeply, focus on the tasks at hand, and promise herself to handle tomorrow when it came. Slowly, something incredible happened. Her anxiety began to lift. She started noticing moments of beauty and peace that she had been missing for years. The laughter of her children, the warmth of the sun on her face, the kindness of strangers. She realized that by obsessing over tomorrow, she had been stealing her own joy today. By trusting in God's guidance, she found strength to face life moment by moment. This is the essence of this teaching. Worry is not just unproductive, it is corrosive. It eats away at your energy, clouds your judgment, and prevents you from living fully. Jesus tells us to release that burden, to stop carrying tomorrow's challenges today, to have faith that life, guided by divine wisdom, will provide what we need when we need it. But here's the deeper truth. Not worrying about tomorrow doesn't mean ignoring responsibility. It doesn't mean neglecting planning or avoiding preparation. It means approaching life with a different mindset, a mindset of trust, courage, and focus on the present. You plan, you act, and you give your best effort today, but you don't let fear of the future control your heart. You act with faith, not with panic. Let me share another story, one that illustrates this beautifully. There was a farmer named Samuel who lived in a small village. Every year he worried about the rains, the harvest, and whether his crops would survive. When he spent hours fretting over what might go wrong, imagining famine, failure, and loss. One day, an elder from his village spoke to him. "Samuel, you cannot control the weather. You cannot control every outcome. All you can do is plant the seeds, tend the soil, and trust that life will provide. Worrying will not grow your crops. It will only wither your spirit." Samuel took these words to heart. He worked diligently, cared for his fields, and released his fear of what he could not control. That year, his harvest was one of the best he had ever had. Not because everything went perfectly, but because he approached life with clarity, focus, and trust, rather than fear. This is what Jesus is teaching us: to release control over the uncontrollable, to trust that the universe, God, or life itself has a plan that is unfolding even when we cannot see it, to focus on the present, where our actions, decisions, and love have the most impact. Now let's explore the practical application of this teaching. How do we stop worrying about tomorrow in a world that constantly demands our attention and fuels our anxiety? Step 1. Awareness. Recognize when you are worrying. Notice the thoughts, the physical tension, and the emotional weight that worry brings. Simply being aware of it is the first step toward releasing it. Step 2. Reframe. Ask yourself, will worrying solve this problem? Can I control this outcome right now? Most often, the answer is no. When we reframe worry as unproductive energy, we can redirect it into action, prayer, meditation, or gratitude. Step 3. Trust. Trust in your abilities. To trust in the people around you, and most importantly, trust in a higher plan. Faith doesn't remove challenges. It gives you the courage to face them without being paralyzed by fear. Step 4. Focus on today. Take small, deliberate actions that are within your control. Solve today's problems today and let tomorrow unfold naturally. By focusing on the present, you reclaim your power, your joy, and your peace. Step 5. Gratitude. Shift your attention from fear to appreciation. What blessings exist in your life right now? What relationships, opportunities, or moments of beauty can you notice? Gratitude anchors us in the present and diminishes the power of worry. I want to be honest with you. Applying this teaching is not easy. Our brains are wired to anticipate threats and dangers. Anxiety and worry are part of human nature. But the more you practice releasing tomorrow's burdens, the stronger your mind and heart become. You learn to live in a state of calm focus, even amidst uncertainty. You become resilient. You become free. Let's dive even deeper. Think about historical figures, spiritual leaders, and ordinary people who exemplified this teaching. Many of them faced unimaginable challenges, war, persecution, poverty, but they refused to let fear of the future control their present. Instead, they acted with courage, hope, and trust, accomplishing incredible things. And the common thread? They understood that life unfolds one day at a time, and that worry accomplishes nothing. Consider someone like Corrie ten Boom, a woman who survived the horrors of a concentration camp during World War II. She faced daily fear, uncertainty, and unimaginable loss. Yet, while she lived by faith, focusing on the day at hand, trusting that God would guide her through each moment, her resilience, courage, and impact were rooted in the same principle Jesus teaches us. Do not worry about tomorrow. Even in our everyday lives, this teaching can transform relationships, work, health, and personal growth. When we stop obsessing over what might happen, we can engage fully with those around us. We can focus on the people in our lives, listen more attentively, and act with love rather than fear. We can approach our work with creativity and confidence rather than dread. We can savor the simple pleasures of life, a warm cup of coffee, a conversation with a friend, a walk in nature, without being clouded by anxiety about what's next. I want to challenge you for a moment. Think about one thing that has been weighing on you, something in the future that fills you with worry. Take a deep breath and remind yourself, I cannot control this right now. I will focus on what I can do today and trust that tomorrow will take care of itself. Imagine the relief, the lightness, the freedom that comes with releasing that burden. This is not just wishful thinking. It is a practice, a discipline, and a gift. And here's the most beautiful part. When we release worry about tomorrow, we also cultivate faith. Faith is the quiet assurance that, no matter what happens, we are not alone. We are equipped, and life has a purpose. It allows us to act with courage, to love without hesitation, and to experience joy even in uncertainty. It is a teaching that strengthens the soul, calms the mind, and opens the heart to the present moment. So today I invite you to embrace this teaching fully. Start by noticing your worries, reframing them, and releasing them. Take deliberate action where you can, and let go where you cannot. Trust that life, God, or the universe will guide you through tomorrow. And most importantly, live today with intention, presence, and gratitude. Because when you do, you discover a peace that transcends fear, a strength that defies anxiety, and a freedom that transforms your life in ways you cannot yet imagine. Remember, worrying about tomorrow does not add a single hour to your life, but it steals countless moments of joy, clarity, and peace. Choose today to live differently. Choose today to trust, to act, and to embrace the moment. Choose today to experience life as it was meant to be, fully, deeply, on and without fear. Now let's explore a teaching of Jesus that is often one of the most difficult to practice, yet one of the most liberating and transformative: forgive others. At first glance, forgiveness can seem impossible, especially when we've been deeply hurt, betrayed, or wronged by someone we trusted. Forgiveness can feel like weakness, like letting someone off the hook, like giving up our right to justice. But in reality, forgiveness is one of the strongest and most courageous acts a human being can perform. Think about it. Every time someone hurts us, whether it's a friend, a family member, a colleague, or even a stranger, our natural reaction is anger. Our minds replay the injustice. Our hearts tighten with resentment, and our bodies respond with stress. We imagine revenge, or at the very least, we hold grudges. And in those moments, we feel justified. After all, we've been wronged. Yet the truth is that holding on to anger, resentment, or bitterness does not harm the person who hurt us nearly as much as it harms us. It traps us in the past, steals our peace, and clouds our ability to love fully. Forgiveness, on the other hand, is liberation. It frees the heart, heals the soul, and allows us to reclaim our life from the grip of pain. Let me tell you a story. There was a man named David. He had been betrayed by his closest friend. A betrayal so deep that it destroyed his trust and left him feeling hollow inside. For years, David carried this anger like a weight on his shoulders. He replayed the events in his mind, imagining how he could have responded differently, imagining how he could have punished his friend. Every day, he woke up with bitterness, and every night he went to sleep with anger. His health began to suffer. His relationships with others became strained. His joy, once so natural, was replaced with resentment. One day, David came across a verse in the Bible: "Forgive others just as God forgave you." At first, he resisted. How could he forgive someone who caused him so much pain? But slowly, he began to reflect. He realized that forgiveness was not about excusing the betrayal or pretending it didn't happen. Forgiveness was about releasing the hold that anger had on his heart. It was about reclaiming his own peace and freedom. Over time, David made the conscious choice to forgive. It wasn't easy, and it didn't happen overnight, but gradually he felt a weight lift from his chest. His anger began to fade, replaced by compassion and understanding. And in that moment, he realized something profound. By forgiving, he had healed himself more than he had healed anyone else. This is the essence of Jesus' teaching on forgiveness. Forgiveness is not for the person who hurt you, it is for you. It is a conscious decision to release resentment and reclaim your life. It is an act of strength, not weakness. It is courage, not cowardice. And it is a doorway to peace, happiness, and deeper connection with others. Now let's explore why forgiveness is so transformative. When we hold on to anger, we carry the past into the present. Every interaction, every thought, every emotion becomes tainted by that unresolved pain. We react with suspicion, bitterness, and fear. Our hearts are closed, and our minds are consumed by what happened, instead of being fully present in the now. Forgiveness interrupts this cycle. It allows us to release the past, to heal our emotional wounds, and to approach life with openness and clarity. It allows us to respond to others from a place of love and understanding rather than fear and resentment. Here's another story, one that illustrates the radical power of forgiveness. A woman named Sarah had suffered unimaginable loss. Her husband had passed away unexpectedly, leaving her to care for their children alone. On top of that, a neighbor had spread false rumors about her, turning the community against her during her time of grief. At first, Sarah was consumed by anger and bitterness. She could not understand how someone could be so cruel. She held on to this resentment for years, allowing it to cloud her interactions with others, even including her own children. But one day, Sarah attended a small Bible study group where they discussed the teaching of Jesus on forgiveness. Slowly, she began to understand that holding on to anger was only prolonging her suffering. She began a deliberate practice of forgiving, not because the neighbor deserved it, but because she deserved peace. Over time, her heart softened. She no longer felt consumed by bitterness, and she found joy in her life again. Forgiveness had freed her, and in doing so, it also allowed her to love more deeply and authentically. Forgiveness also has profound effects on our health and well-being. Scientific studies have shown that holding on to anger and resentment increases stress, raises blood pressure, weakens the immune system, and even shortens lifespan. Forgiveness, on the other hand, reduces stress. Ira improves emotional resilience and fosters healthier relationships. Jesus understood this deeply. By teaching us to forgive, he was not only guiding us spiritually, but also offering a pathway to emotional and physical well-being. But let's be honest, forgiveness is not easy. There are wounds that run deep, betrayals that seem unforgivable, and pain that seems permanent. This is where faith and reflection become essential. Forgiveness begins with understanding that everyone, including ourselves, is imperfect. Everyone makes mistakes, acts out of fear, pride, or ignorance. When we recognize the shared human frailty, it becomes possible to extend compassion and grace, even to those who have hurt us deeply. Forgiveness also requires patience. It is not a single moment of decision, but a process. Sometimes, it begins with small steps. Choosing not to speak ill of someone, reframing negative thoughts, or releasing grudges in prayer or meditation. Over time, these small acts of letting go accumulate, and the heart slowly softens. And in this process, we often discover something miraculous. The person we thought needed to change in order for us to heal is actually ourselves. Forgiveness transforms us from the inside out. Let's take a practical look at how to implement this teaching in your life. Step 1. Acknowledge the hurt. Do not deny your pain or pretend it doesn't exist. Recognize the impact the person's actions had on you and validate your emotions. Forgiveness does not require you to ignore your feelings. It requires you to face them courageously. Step 2. Shift perspective. Try to see the situation from the other person's point of view. This does not justify their actions, but it helps you understand their motives, limitations, or struggles. Often, understanding breeds empathy, and empathy softens resentment. Step 3. Release resentment. This can be done through prayer, meditation, journaling, or even speaking your truth aloud in a safe space. Let go of the desire for revenge or retribution. Remind yourself that forgiveness is a gift to yourself first. Step 4. Choose compassion. Make a conscious decision to respond with kindness, patience, or at least neutrality. You don't have to reconcile immediately, and you don't have to forget, but you choose not to be controlled by anger. Step 5. Practice gratitude. Reflect on the lessons learned from the experience. Often, our deepest pains teach us resilience, patience, empathy, and strength. By focusing on these gifts, we reinforce the transformative power of forgiveness. Forgiveness also extends beyond individuals. It applies to communities, societies, and even nations. Imagine the liberation that comes when entire communities choose to forgive past injustices, when societies release cycles of hatred, and when we collectively embrace compassion over vengeance. The ripple effect of forgiveness can change the world. Think of historical examples. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison under a brutal regime. Yet upon his release, he chose forgiveness over revenge. He worked to unify a divided nation rather than perpetuate hatred. His choice to forgive transformed not only his life, but the trajectory of an entire country. This is the radical power Jesus speaks of. It is not weakness, but profound strength. Even in our daily lives, the teaching of forgiveness can transform relationships. Imagine a parent forgiving a child for a mistake, a friend forgiving a betrayal, or a colleague forgiving a harsh word. Each act of forgiveness restores connection, fosters understanding, and opens the door to love and trust. Forgiveness allows us to move forward without carrying the chains of past pain. Now let me challenge you. Think of someone in your life who has hurt you deeply. Feel the weight of that anger, resentment, or pain. Now take a deep breath and imagine releasing it. You don't have to condone what happened. You don't have to forget, but you choose to free yourself from the burden. You choose peace. You choose love. This is the teaching of Jesus in action. This is the power of forgiveness. And here's the most beautiful truth. As you forgive, you begin to see life differently. You notice joy more easily. You experience love more fully. You engage with the world with an open heart instead of a guarded one. Forgiveness transforms not only your relationships, but your entire experience of life. So today, I invite you to embrace this teaching fully. Reflect on the people you need to forgive, including yourself. Take small, deliberate steps to release resentment. Practice empathy, compassion, and understanding. And remember, forgiveness is not a one-time act, but a lifelong practice. The more you forgive, the freer, stronger, and more peaceful your heart becomes. This is the teaching of Jesus that can heal your soul and change your life in ways you never thought possible. Now, let's explore a teaching of Jesus that has the power to transform not only our own lives, but the lives of everyone around us. Serve others humbly. In a world that constantly encourages us to put ourselves first, to pursue status, recognition, or wealth, this teaching can feel counterintuitive. But it is precisely in humility and service that we discover true strength, purpose, and fulfillment. Think about how society often measures success. We are told to climb the ladder, to accumulate wealth, to seek accolades and recognition. We're conditioned to believe that our worth is tied to what we achieve, how we appear to others, or how much influence we wield. But Jesus' message flips this completely. True greatness, he teaches, is found not in power or prestige, but in humble service to others. It is found in the quiet acts of compassion, in the unseen efforts that lift someone else, and the willingness to place others' needs above our own without seeking praise. Consider this. Serving others humbly is not about obligation or guilt. It is about recognizing the value of every person and acting with love, empathy, and care. It is about seeing someone in need and asking, how can I make a difference in their life today? And when we answer that call, not for recognition, but simply because it is right, we tap into a power far greater than any worldly success. Let me tell you a story. There was a man named Thomas, a busy executive who spent his life climbing the corporate ladder. He worked long hours, chased promotions, and measured his worth by his salary and job title. One day, as he left the office late, he saw an elderly woman struggling to carry groceries up a steep hill. Something inside him stirred. Without thinking about how this would affect his schedule or image, he ran to help her. Together, they carried her groceries to her home. She thanked him with a smile, and he left feeling lighter, more alive, and inexplicably joyful. That simple act of service, unnoticed by the world, had a profound impact on Thomas. It reminded him that life's greatest rewards are often found in giving, not receiving. This is the essence of Jesus' teaching. Service is not about recognition. It is about selflessness, compassion, and humility. It is about using our gifts, time, and energy to make the lives of others better without expecting anything in return. And in doing so, we not only bless others, we are transformed ourselves. Let's delve deeper. Serving others humbly requires a shift in perspective. It requires us to step outside of our own desires, fears, and preoccupations. It asks us to see the world through the eyes of someone else, to notice their struggles, and to respond with care. And here's the remarkable truth. The more we serve, the more we cultivate gratitude, empathy, and joy in our own hearts. We begin to see life not as a series of transactions or competitions, but as a web of connection and shared humanity. Here's another story to illustrate this teaching. Maria was a single mother working 2 jobs to support her children. Life was exhausting, and there were days when she felt like she could barely keep up. One evening, she noticed a stray dog shivering in the cold outside her apartment building. Most people would have ignored it, but Maria felt compelled to act. She took the dog in, fed it, and gave it shelter. Why that act of service, small and humble as it was, brought her a sense of purpose and fulfillment that nothing else had. Caring for the dog reminded her of her capacity to love, to nurture, and to impact another life positively. And in turn, she began extending the same compassion to her children, neighbors, and coworkers, creating a ripple effect of kindness and care. Serving others humbly also transforms our relationships. When we serve without expecting anything in return, we create trust, respect, and connection. People feel seen, valued, and supported. And as these relationships grow, so does our sense of community, belonging, and purpose. Jesus' life is a testament to this principle. He washed the feet of his disciples, healed the sick, fed the hungry, and spent his life lifting others up, often without recognition or reward. His example shows us that true leadership and influence come not from power, but from service. Now let's explore the practical ways this teaching can be applied in our everyday lives. Serving others humbly doesn't always require grand gestures or heroic acts. Often, the most meaningful service is quiet, consistent, and unassuming. Step 1. Notice the needs around you. Be attentive to the struggles, challenges, and needs of those in your family, community, workplace, or social circle. Awareness is the first step toward meaningful service. Step 2. Act without expectation. When you help someone, do it without seeking praise, reward, or recognition. True humility means giving simply because it is right, not because it enhances your reputation. Step 3. Use your unique gifts. Each of us has talents, skills, and resources that can benefit others. Whether it's teaching, cooking, listening, mentoring, or providing financial support, use your abilities to uplift those around you. Step 4. Start small. Service doesn't have to be monumental. Holding the door open, offering a kind word, volunteering your time, or supporting a friend in need, these small acts accumulate and create lasting impact. Step 5. Reflect and grow. After serving, reflect on the experience. Notice how it made you feel, what you learned about yourself, and how it strengthened your relationships. Let these reflections guide your future acts of service. Consider the ripple effect of humble service. One small act of kindness can inspire another. One meal shared with someone in need can spark a chain of generosity. One moment of listening and presence can transform a life. By serving humbly, we create a culture of compassion and empathy that extends far beyond ourselves. Let me share another powerful example. During a natural disaster, a community was devastated by floods. Many were homeless, hungry, and scared. Amid the chaos, volunteers arrived, not celebrities, not leaders, but ordinary people willing to serve humbly. They distributed food, helped rebuild homes, and provided comfort and encouragement. They did not seek recognition. They did not ask for anything in return. And yet their service created hope, restored dignity, and strengthened the entire community. Their humble acts of service became a beacon of light in a time of darkness, showing that greatness is found not in power, but in giving. Serving others humbly also teaches us important lessons about gratitude, perspective, and resilience. When we see the challenges others face, we gain appreciation for our own lives. We recognize the blessings we may have taken for granted, and we cultivate empathy for the struggles of others. Humble service reminds us that life is not solely about our own comfort or success. It is about connection, love, and shared humanity. And here's the profound spiritual truth. When we serve others, we are serving God. Every act of kindness, every gesture of compassion, every effort to lift someone else is a reflection of divine love in action. Jesus' teaching reminds us that service is sacred. It is a pathway to spiritual growth, personal transformation, and eternal fulfillment. Now, I want to challenge you. Think about someone in your life who could benefit from your service, your time, attention, skills, or presence. It could be a family member, a friend, a coworker, or even a stranger. Commit to serving them without expectation, without seeking recognition, simply because it is the right thing to do. Notice how it transforms not only their life, but your own. Pay attention to the joy, the humility, and the deep sense of purpose that arises when you act selflessly. Serving others humbly is also a lifelong practice. It is not about a single heroic moment, but a consistent way of living. Every day there are opportunities to serve. Every interaction, every decision, every moment of presence is an opportunity to embody this teaching. And the more we practice, the more natural it becomes. Service becomes not just an action, but a part of who we are. It shapes our character, our relationships, and our worldview. Finally, remember this: humble service is a powerful antidote to fear, selfishness, and despair. When we focus on the needs of others, we step outside of our own worries and anxieties. We find purpose beyond ourselves, connection beyond isolation, and joy beyond fleeting pleasure. In serving others, we discover our true strength, our true character, and our true calling. So today, I invite you to embrace this teaching fully. Look around, notice the needs, step forward with courage, compassion, and humility. Serve not for recognition, not for reward, but because it is right. And as you serve, watch your own heart transform. Watch your relationships deepen, your perspective widen, and your sense of purpose flourish. This is the teaching of Jesus. True greatness is found in humble service, and through serving others, you will discover the life you were meant to live. Finally, when we arrive at a teaching of Jesus that inspires courage, resilience, and hope in the most challenging moments, faith can move mountains. These words are simple, yet they carry extraordinary power. They remind us that with faith, deep, unwavering belief, we can overcome obstacles that seem impossible, face challenges that feel insurmountable, and achieve breakthroughs that defy logic or expectation. Think about your own life for a moment. How many times have you faced what felt like an immovable mountain? Perhaps it was a financial crisis, a health challenge, a relationship in turmoil, or a dream that seemed beyond reach. Maybe it was a situation where the odds were stacked against you, and you felt powerless to change anything. Mountains come in many forms: fear, doubt, failure, heartbreak, and uncertainty. And often, when we look at these mountains, we feel small, inadequate, and defeated. But Jesus' teaching reminds us that faith transforms the impossible into the possible. Faith gives us the strength, courage, and vision to face challenges head-on and move mountains that once seemed unmovable. Let me tell you a story. There was a young woman named Elena who had always dreamed of starting her own business. She had ideas, passion, and talent, but life seemed determined to block her at every turn. Loans were denied, opportunities fell through, and every step forward seemed to bring 2 steps back. For a long time, she doubted herself and considered giving up entirely. But then she remembered a teaching she had heard in her youth. Faith can move mountains. She decided to take a leap, not blindly, but with belief in her vision, persistence, and trust in God. She continued working tirelessly, seeking guidance, learning from setbacks and refusing to let fear dictate her path. Over time, her business began to grow. What had once seemed impossible became a reality, not because the path was easy, but because her faith gave her the courage and determination to keep going despite the obstacles. This is the essence of Jesus' teaching. Faith is not wishful thinking. It is not passive hope. Faith is active, persistent, and courageous. It is the deep inner conviction that empowers you to act, to persevere, and to believe in outcomes that others might deem impossible. It is faith that transforms our mindset, shapes our decisions, and fuels our resilience. Now let's explore why faith is so powerful in moving mountains. First, faith changes perspective. When we approach challenges with faith, we stop seeing obstacles as insurmountable barriers. Instead, we see opportunities for growth, learning, and transformation. Mountains are no longer threats. They are invitations to rise, to trust, and to act. Faith shifts our focus from fear to possibility, from limitation to potential. Here's another story to illustrate this teaching. James was a father struggling to provide for his family. His job offered little security, bills piled up, and he felt hopeless. One night he prayed, asking for guidance and strength. The next day, inspired by a sudden idea, he began working on a side project, something he had always dreamed of doing, but had never attempted. Friends and family doubted him, obstacles appeared, and the project seemed destined to fail. But James persisted. He fueled by faith that his efforts had purpose. Over time, his project gained traction, eventually becoming a source of income and stability for his family. Faith had given him the courage to take action, endure challenges, and ultimately move the mountain that once seemed impossible. Faith also provides strength in the face of adversity. Life is unpredictable, and mountains appear in many forms: illness, loss, betrayal, or failure. Without faith, these challenges can overwhelm us, leaving us paralyzed by fear and doubt. But with faith, we tap into a source of inner resilience that allows us to endure hardship, adapt to circumstances, and maintain hope even in the darkest times. Faith is a shield, a guide, and a source of energy that empowers us to keep moving forward when the path seems impossible. Consider a historical example, Helen Keller. Born blind and deaf, she faced a mountain that most would consider insurmountable, communicating with the world around her. Yet through the guidance of her teacher, Annie Sullivan, and her unwavering faith in her ability to learn and connect, Helen not only learned to communicate, but became a world-renowned author, speaker, and advocate for the disabled. Her faith in her potential allowed her to move a mountain that many would have deemed immovable. Now, how can we cultivate the kind of faith that moves mountains? It begins with belief, not just in external outcomes, but in the power within yourself and in the guidance of God, the universe, or life itself. Faith requires discipline, reflection, and action. Now, here's a practical approach to developing this faith. Step 1. Strengthen your inner conviction. Affirm daily that you are capable of overcoming challenges. Repeat affirmations, meditate, or pray to reinforce your belief in yourself and your path. Step 2. Visualize success. Imagine the mountain before you being moved, the challenge being overcome, and the goal being achieved. Visualization prepares your mind and heart for action and reinforces your faith. Step 3. Take deliberate action. Faith is not passive. Moving mountains requires consistent, persistent effort. Identify steps you can take, however small, and commit to following through. Step 4. Learn from setbacks. Mountains are not moved without resistance. Obstacles, failures, and delays are part of the process. A faith allows you to interpret these not as signs of defeat, but as lessons and opportunities to grow stronger. Step 5. Surround yourself with support. Faith flourishes in community. Seek mentors, friends, or spiritual guides who encourage, challenge, and inspire you. Shared faith amplifies resilience and courage. Faith also inspires creativity and problem solving. When we believe that mountains can be moved, we begin to think in new ways, explore unconventional solutions, and remain open to possibilities we might have otherwise overlooked. Faith expands the mind, strengthens resolve, and opens the heart to innovation and perseverance. Let me share another example. A young man named Raphael dreamed of becoming a musician, but he faced countless rejections, financial struggles, and personal setbacks. Many advised him to give up, to choose a more practical path. Yet Raphael held fast to his faith in his purpose and talent. He practiced relentlessly, sought opportunities wherever he could, and remained steadfast despite discouragement. Years later, his music touched millions of lives worldwide. The mountain of rejection, doubt, and hardship had been moved by the power of faith. Faith also nurtures hope. Even when circumstances seem bleak, faith reminds us that change is possible, solutions exist, and the future holds promise. It allows us to persevere when others give up, to maintain courage when fear threatens to paralyze us, and to continue acting toward our goals, even when success is not immediate. Imagine a life without faith in moving mountains. Every obstacle would seem insurmountable, every setback final, and every challenge overwhelming. Fear would dominate our choices, and uncertainty would dictate our actions. But with faith, we see challenges as temporary, obstacles as surmountable, and life as full of possibility. Faith transforms despair into hope, weakness into strength, and impossibility into opportunity. Now, I want to challenge you. Think about the mountain in your own life, the challenge, fear, or obstacle that feels too big to overcome. Feel it, acknowledge it, and then remind yourself of Jesus' words. Faith can move mountains. Visualize yourself confronting this mountain with courage, persistence, and unwavering belief. Imagine yourself taking steps, no matter how small, toward overcoming it. Imagine the mountain beginning to shift, to crumble, and the path ahead clearing. And here's the most beautiful truth. Mountains are not moved overnight. Faith works through persistence, patience, and action. Every small step, every act of courage, every moment of belief chips away at the mountain. Mountains are moved not by despair, doubt, or hesitation, but by consistent faith-driven effort. Faith also strengthens community and relationships. When we face challenges with faith, we inspire others to do the same. Our courage, persistence, and hope become a beacon for those around us. Mountains that seem impossible to move alone can often be moved together with shared vision, support, and collective faith. This is why Jesus emphasized faith, not only as an individual strength, but as a transformative force in communities in the world. Finally, remember this: faith is not about controlling every outcome or avoiding difficulty. Mountains will appear, challenges will persist, life will test your courage and resilience. But faith gives you the strength to endure, the clarity to act, and the courage to believe in possibilities beyond what your eyes can see. Faith moves mountains, not by magic, but by empowering your mind, heart, and spirit to act, persist, and trust in the unseen forces guiding your journey. So today I invite you to embrace this teaching fully. Identify the mountains in your life, strengthen your faith, visualize success, take deliberate action, learn from setbacks, and seek support. Persist with courage, hope, and unwavering belief. And as you do, watch as challenges that once seemed impossible begin to shift, break, and move. This is the power of faith, a force that can transform your life, uplift your spirit, and create miracles in ways you never imagined. Remember Jesus' words: faith can move mountains. Believe them, live them, and let your life be a testament to the extraordinary power of faith. As we come to the close of this journey together, take a deep breath and allow the weight of what we've explored to sink in. Over the past moments, we've delved into 5 teachings of Jesus, teachings that are not just words on a page, not just stories from centuries ago, but living, breathing principles that have the power to transform your life today. They are guiding lights, roadmaps, and tools for navigating the challenges, uncertainties, and complexities of modern life. Let's briefly revisit them, not just as concepts, but as invitations. First, we learn to love your neighbor as yourself, a teaching that reminds us that true fulfillment begins with extending compassion, understanding, and care to others, even when it is inconvenient, uncomfortable, or challenging. It calls us to step outside ourselves, to recognize the humanity in those around us, and to act from a place of love rather than judgment or indifference. By doing this, we not only uplift those we serve, but we awaken something profound within our own hearts, the capacity to experience connection, joy, and purpose in ways we may have never imagined. Second, we explored the teaching, do not worry about tomorrow. How often have we allowed fear, uncertainty, and anxiety about the future to steal the peace of today? Jesus' words here are revolutionary. They remind us that worrying accomplishes nothing, that it drains our energy, clouds our judgment, and robs us of the life that exists in the present moment. By letting go of tomorrow's burdens, by placing trust in a higher plan, and by focusing fully on the steps we can take today, we free ourselves from fear and step into a life of clarity, courage, and calm. Third, we discovered the profound liberation found in forgiving others. Forgiveness is often one of the hardest teachings to apply because it demands that we confront pain, betrayal, and injustice. Yet it is also one of the most freeing. Forgiveness is not about excusing wrongdoing or pretending the hurt never happened. It is about releasing ourselves from the chains of resentment, reclaiming our peace, and allowing our hearts to heal. When we forgive, we open the door to love, understanding, and reconciliation, not just for others, but for ourselves. In forgiveness, we reclaim power over our own lives and step into a space of resilience and grace. Fourth, we embrace the transformative strength of serving others humbly. In a world that often measures success by wealth, recognition, or influence, Jesus' teaching turns everything upside down. True greatness, he teaches, is found in selfless service. It is in acts of kindness, patience, generosity, and humility that we discover meaning, fulfillment, and purpose. Every small act of service ripples outward, touching lives we may never even fully see. And every act we offer, unselfishly and without expectation, transforms not just others but ourselves, cultivating empathy, gratitude, and a deeper connection to life. And finally, we reach the pinnacle of courage and hope. Faith can move mountains. This is a teaching that invites us to believe beyond what our eyes can see, to act with courage even in the face of fear, and to trust that no obstacle is too great when we approach life with unwavering belief. Faith is not passive hope, it is active conviction, resilience, and determination. It empowers us to rise above challenges, pursue dreams that others deem impossible, and remain steadfast when the world seems determined to push us down. Mountains are moved not by magic, but by the unwavering persistence, trust, and action born from true faith. Now, as you reflect on these 5 teachings together, notice the threads that connect them. Love, trust, forgiveness, service, and faith. They are not separate lessons, but pieces of a larger, unified path. They guide us toward a life of purpose, resilience, and transformation. They teach us that the challenges we face, the pain we carry, and the uncertainties that surround us are not barriers, but opportunities. Opportunities to grow, to rise, and to embody the kind of life that Jesus envisioned for each of us. I want you to take a moment and imagine your life fully transformed by these teachings. Imagine approaching each day with the courage to forgive, the compassion to love deeply, the humility to serve selflessly, the trust to release tomorrow's burdens, and the faith to overcome mountains that once seemed impossible. Imagine waking each morning with a heart free from fear, a mind focused on the present, and a spirit open to the infinite possibilities around you. How would it feel to experience the world through this lens, where obstacles become lessons, challenges become opportunities, and life itself becomes a journey of meaning, purpose, and joy? But let me be honest with you, hearing these teachings is not enough. Knowing them intellectually is only the first step. Transformation happens when we choose to live them. It happens when we move from theory to action, from reflection to practice, from aspiration to embodiment. It is not easy. Some days will test your patience. Some situations will challenge your courage. Some relationships will demand your love, forgiveness, and humility when it feels impossible. But this is where true growth occurs. This is where life begins to shift in ways that are profound, lasting, and deeply meaningful. So today I want to issue a challenge, a call not just to reflection, but to action. Take one of these teachings, one principle that resonates with you most, and commit to living it fully, starting right now. Choose to forgive someone you have held resentment toward, or choose to help someone in need without expecting anything in return. Choose to let go of tomorrow's anxieties and focus fully on today. Choose to trust in the unseen, to believe in possibilities, and to act with faith. And each day, take another step, incorporating another teaching until all 5 become guiding principles in your life. And here's the most powerful truth. The impact of these choices extends far beyond you. Every act of love, every moment of service, every step of faith, every instance of forgiveness sends ripples into the lives of those around you. Your courage inspires someone else. Your compassion sparks hope in another. Your faith strengthens the resolve of those who feel powerless. And your transformation becomes a living testament to the power of these teachings. Proof that a life lived in alignment with Jesus' wisdom is a life that changes the world. I want you to feel this deeply. The person you are today does not define the person you can become tomorrow. The mistakes of the past, the fears of the present, and the uncertainties of the future do not have the final say in your life. You have the power to embody love, forgiveness, service, faith, and trust. You have the capacity to move mountains, to uplift lives, and to create a reality that reflects the highest version of yourself. Every choice, every action, every moment matters. Every step forward is a step toward transformation, not just for you, but for everyone whose life you touch. So I ask you now, in this moment, to make a commitment. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and silently affirm, I will live these teachings. I will embody love, forgiveness, humility, faith, and trust. I will act today with courage, compassion, and integrity. I will move mountains in my life and in the lives of others. Feel the power of that decision. Feel the weight lifting from your shoulders as you release fear, doubt, and limitation. Feel the energy, hope, and light that flows when you align your life with these principles. And then take action. Reach out to someone you can help. Extend forgiveness where it has been withheld. Serve someone without expectation. Let go of a worry that has consumed your mind. Step boldly in faith toward a goal or dream that has felt unreachable. One action, one decision, or one step today has the potential to set in motion a chain of events that transforms not just your life, but the world around you. Imagine the ripple effect. One act of love inspires another. One moment of forgiveness heals more than you could see. One humble act of service strengthens a community. One decision to trust in faith creates possibilities you cannot yet imagine. This is the extraordinary power you hold within you. These teachings are not just lessons, they are keys to freedom, joy, and transformation. Before we close, I want you to reflect on this. Life is fleeting, unpredictable, and precious. We are given a finite number of moments, opportunities, and choices. Will you spend them weighed down by fear, anger, or resentment? Or will you embrace these teachings, allow them to guide your actions, and live a life that is bold, compassionate, and courageous? The choice is yours and the moment is now. So I invite you, no, I challenge you to take what you've learned today and live it fully. Share it with others. Be the embodiment of love, faith, forgiveness, humility, and courage. Let these teachings shape your words, your decisions, your relationships, and your dreams. And watch as your life transforms in ways that are extraordinary, unexpected, and deeply fulfilling. This is your call to action. This is your invitation to rise, your opportunity to step into the life you were meant to live. The teachings of Jesus are not distant ideals. They are living principles, waiting for you to act, waiting for you to believe, waiting for you to transform your world. Take that step today and let your life become the proof that faith, love, forgiveness, humility, service, and trust are not just teachings. They are the path to a life of purpose, joy, and extraordinary impact. Remember this: you are capable of moving mountains. You are capable of healing your heart, inspiring others, and creating change that lasts. You are capable of living fully, deeply, and courageously. These teachings are your guide, your compass, and your power. Embrace them, embody them, and step boldly into the life you were always meant to live. Now go. Love fiercely, forgive freely, serve humbly, trust deeply, act with faith, move mountains, and never underestimate the extraordinary power that lies within you.